Well, what's up, everybody? Long time no see. You guys deserve a wave for that one. So, I'm pretty sure that if you were with me last year, you probably never thought you'd see another episode of this. Well, if you've seen my update videos, you'll get to learn why it took me so long, but you'll also get to learn that I am back. And just to be certain of my being back and not having any problems with my content, I filmed over 50 videos. And yeah, that's right. I've filmed over 50 different videos, and not just for Dark Souls. As in the update video I've described, uh, I've done Dark Souls, Amnesia, Skyrim, um, 2 Pokemon ROM hacks, probably a third one coming up soon, Dead Cells. I'm diversifying, and I wanted to have all that filmed as a way of apology. So before I do that, before we go any further with this, and this is the rebooted version of this series. Thank you. Thank you for staying subscribed. Thank you for sticking with me. And if you're watching this, thank you for watching, because this is the rebooted version. And to briefly go over what the rebooted version means, basically, this is the most standing in place and talking you're going to see me do probably the rest of the series. One of the major roadblocks that I had to continuing to film was there was such a massive conflict between the message that I wanted to share that the game could, provide to somebody, the real life reflections of, the in-game stuff that makes it feel so intense and that we could learn from. But also, I had next to no playing at all. We'd gone 4 episodes and I had not gotten any further than this, which is, I apologize. That is not going to be the case this time. To be frank, I would not be surprised at all if by the end of this episode, which I'm going to make probably a two-parter, I'd not be surprised if we finally got out of the asylum. But, big but, for those who wanted the message as well as the gameplay, I'm going to try, as I'm playing, to make mention to that, but for the most part, I'm just going to be playing the game, but I'm not going to be cutting out the message part because I feel like that's way too vital for me not to talk about. So instead, I haven't gotten many work started on it yet. I need to research it, and I've been very busy filming, as well as, preparing for a new job in January. But I'm going to be doing a podcast. Because I realize, well, just look at the update video and it'll explain it better for you. But basically, the message is vital, and so is everything else. The message is vital, but so is the gameplay. That's why people come to, a game. They don't come to listen to somebody talk and watch somebody sit down. They come to hear talking and watch play. Or just watch play. I'm going to be providing both, but I'm not giving up on sharing the lessons I think this game can teach, because, man, are they still just as potent as I felt they were a year ago. And they'll probably be potent for a very long time, if not indefinitely. So, with that in mind, once again, come along. We're now going to be starting this journey in earnest. What better place to start than the bonfire? Or at least establishing this one. So, I had original, basically 3 episodes scheduled for what we're about to do, like scripted, but last episode we took off our armor to increase our speed, which in real life reflected how we need to take off the bad habits we've used to protect ourselves in the past in order to grow toward the future. But now we're faced with a problem. Look around that corner. See that little guy in the distance? That guy's the first enemy that we're going to face that doesn't die in 3 hits, and that's because in the asylum, in the mental framework of this, the asylum being the prison you built around yourself, once you leave the comfort zone area of that wing of the asylum, you're faced with problems that your old way of handling things, which this weapon, the old way of handling things no longer works. See? Or at least, it's not going to be enough. We don't have any armor, so we're much more vulnerable to this guy's arrows, so you might be asking, well, what do we do? There's a shadow of somebody playing. Well, your mind will provide, because it does not want to remain stagnant. You have everything you need, like I said in the first episode. Just like this shield. And in the scripted version, you'll learn in the podcast what it means, but the shield is like a kind of armor that doesn't weigh you down. In fact, it helps you move quicker, in a way. And I'll describe what that means in the podcast. But basically, it's kind of like faith. It doesn't have to be religious faith. It could be faith in a person's love for you. It could be faith in, if you're religious, like I am. It could be faith in God or a teaching. Or it could be something as simple as the sun will rise tomorrow. Or I'm going to keep breathing. That kind of thing. Depending on what your journey is and what your struggles are and your doubts, the little hollows that nip at you every day or get in the way of your advancement. It's a shield against doubt. It's armor to help you keep moving forward. So let's do it. See? Much better. Now let's hit him. Now see that? We're doing it a lot worse than last time, aren't we? Gonna let him run off. That's the thing. He's not in the comfort zone anymore. That means the problem he provides will not be enough for our old way of handling things, our old way of life, to tackle. But once again, he goes digging around and test things out, and you'll find a different way to handle things. Not inherently the best way. There is no inherent best way to handle a problem, although there are some worst ways to handle a problem. But this right here, now that we've got this faith and this new way of handling things, the reason I remember in the first episode I said I was going to try out a number of different weapons. That's to emulate how certain ways of handling things will work for some enemies. Ooh. Not for others, but it'll work for this one. And there you have it. One problem down. But yeah. For example, some enemies, this gives standard or slash damage. As you can see right... Let me see. It's so difficult having to work with There we are. Just to see what kind of damage, I don't think. Yeah, well. Basically gives standard or slash damage. It's a very basic weapon. But imagine an enemy that is well armored. Slash isn't going to hurt them. It's going to scratch right off their armor. So something like a spear that could get through their, weak points, or a hammer that can hit through the armor, those would be preferable. Or, hey, what about magic? Magic can completely bypass armor. But then again, there are enemies that a spear is useless against, like a skeleton. I mean, it has no vital organs to pierce. Or a hammer won't work well on something that is absurdly armored or not wearing armor but has very thick skin, like a giant mushroom. And yes, I said giant mushroom. If you're new to the game, you will learn what they are. Giant mushroom men. But basically, you got to keep on your toes. Always think of a new way to handle a problem. And well, first little fog wall, which is one of the few that does not lead to a boss. But these are the little checkpoints that are kind of like mini. Remember with the first boss, it was kind of like blocking your path. This is with fear. It's like a gate that you have to push open. This is one you've got to have the courage to step through. because beyond it is the unknown. But the only way you can get better is by exploring the unknown, not just of life embracing that there are going to be things that you don't know everything about when you go in. That's been real difficult for me. I know it's difficult for other people too. But the only way you're going to learn anything is if you have the courage to push through that and look around not only that new situation or that new environment, but that new part of yourself. So, let's do it. Alright guys, most of my episodes now are 10 minutes long, so now that I've gotten that update out of the way, next episode, we are either going to be almost to taking out not Taurus, that's later, the Asylum Demon, or we are going to have taken it out and headed out of the Asylum at last. But until then, this has been the reboot, the renewed series of Our Darkened Souls, the Ignored Verse, a Soulthrough of Dark Souls, the original, Prepare to Die edition. Well, the Prepare to Die edition, not the remaster. And until next time, peace be with you. We're back, baby. We're back.